Hey, how's it going? My name's Icewind, and I'm going to do a full game tutorial on Paper Mario. Really quickly, I'm going to explain the different versions. So, Paper Mario is released on 3 different versions. There's the N64 version, the Wii Virtual Console version, and the Wii U. The Wii U Virtual Console is the fastest version. There is virtually no lag. Then it's the N64 version, and then the slowest version is Wii Virtual Console, but you can play on any of the 3 consoles. This run works on anything. I'm also using the Japanese version currently. There are 2 Japanese exclusive glitches. One has an English method, but it's pretty tricky and can be kind of weird. And then the other glitch saves about a minute-ish. So if you only have the English version and you want to start running this game, it's still doable. I would recommend getting a Japanese version of this game, though. If you're on Wii U or Wii, you can hack your Wii U and Wii to get the Japanese WAD. If you're on N64, you can buy a N64 cart for like $12 or $15. It's pretty cheap. But for the most part, it doesn't matter what version you play on. Just play on whatever is most comfortable for you. I'm currently recording this tutorial on emulator, so I can have input display and save states so I can explain certain things. But I'm just going to go right into it because there is a long cutscene at the start, so yeah, we're just going to start. Your file name can be anything, it doesn't matter. It's not like Legend of Zelda, so I'm just going to go ahead and start. So first thing you want to do is you want to hold B through all text. Holding B is the fastest way to scroll through text, no matter what. It's faster than mashing A, so always be holding B as much as possible to scroll through text as fast as possible. Your main form of movement in this game is going to be spinning with the Z button, so you'll be seeing that pretty soon. For movement, so this tutorial is mostly for beginners. If you're trying to learn the game, if you've never played the game before or never run the game before, and you want to pick up like a glitch category, I think this is probably one of the better starting glitch categories. But if you're trying to learn and you might not know exactly where to go or what to do, then you can follow along in this video. If you're doing something like a 12-hour challenge, this would be a good resource, and there's currently no full game tutorial. There are a lot of glitch tutorials available by people like N1 and Glower and GigaDB. I will link those in the YouTube description, but right off the bat, you're going to want to spin. So spinning, Mario will do a little spin. Fastest thing you want to do is when you spin, you want to jump at the end, because otherwise Mario will have this little like ending animation. So right from the start, you're going to hold like upright-ish, spin, and every time you go up a small ledge, you'll cancel it. You'll cancel your spin, so you're going to be spinning and doing a short little jump to cancel your spin, and then you spin right up these stairs, and then go through the little door. And this is going to be your main form of movement for the entire game, pretty much, is spinning and then jumping at the end of your spin. So the beginning of the game is pretty cutscene heavy, so just kind of do it. If you're trying to find the best way to, like, just some of the more optimal movement ways to move through certain rooms, I would highly recommend watching the world record videos by people like I'm Glower or other top level runners like Butterlord, JCog, Yoshizilla. They all have really, really good movement, so go ahead and definitely watch those videos if you're trying to see what really good movement looks like. I will try to explain some of the easier movement optimizations, but for the most part, this will just be a here's where to go and what to do and how to do things type of tutorial. Again, the beginning is really slow. It's about 20 minutes of prologue, and not much is happening in prologue. So during fights, we're mostly going to be jumping, and when you jump, you'll see it here. Mario, right before he jumps on an enemy, he will have this little crouch animation that you just saw there. You can actually cancel that. So if you hit A at a certain time, you will cancel it. So like this, see how much shorter that crouch was? At the beginning, you can, for the first couple fights, you can just mash A because you don't have to worry about action command. But once you get action command, you're going to want to start timing that. It saves about 1/3 of a second. I think it's like 10 frames, like 9 or 10 frames if you do it right. So over the course of the run, it saves a lot of time. But if you're just starting out, don't really worry about it because it can be easy to miss action commands. But for these first couple fights, go ahead and just mash A, and you can save, you know, a couple seconds right off the bat. So yeah, first fight, just you lose it on purpose. So for these chapter screens, each time you see one, go ahead and just mash A, start, and B, just to clear it as fast as possible. Again, we still have a couple more minutes of cutscenes, unfortunately. That's just the nature of speedrunning this game. Alright, so now that we're able to actually do something now, right off this cutscene, first thing you're going to want to do is we need to go talk to Goompa. He's the Goomba on the balcony. And again, remember, you're going to be spinning as much as possible. So Mario moves fastest when he's spinning on the ground. So you're going to spin, enter this door. And then talk to Goompa. Then after this, we need to go talk to Goompapa. He's over by the fence. So yeah, a good thing you can do there is you can spin on the table and then, but, oh my god. Talk to Goompapa here. Again, kind of just a slow intro just because it's prologue, but once we get past this, the run's actually really interesting. So another thing about movement, when you are moving, when you're spinning and jumping, something I notice a lot of new runners do is when they jump, so there's actually two different types of jumps, or not exactly, but Mario's jump height is actually variable with how long you hold the A button, so I'll show you what I mean right after this cutscene. But if you hold A, Mario will actually jump higher. So if you just tap A, Mario will have like a really short jump. You see I don't even hit the save block. Where if you hold A, you'll jump higher. So when you're moving, you want to be in the air for as little time as possible. So when you spin, make sure you just barely tap the A button. If you hold the A button, you'll jump much higher, and you'll actually move a lot slower. overall, and it'll save actually a decent amount of time throughout the course of the run. So make sure you're always doing short jumps when you're spinning instead of full jumps. So yeah, just go back out to the balcony and Mario will fall. So the first thing you'll notice here in the route is something called Jr Troopa skip. If you're just starting out, don't worry about Jr Troopa skip. It saves about a minute, but it's really hard and it's kind of dumb. It uses a trick called loading zone storage, and I'll explain loading zone storage here while we're waiting. So loading zone storage, it requires you to do a series of frame perfect jumps. So when Mario touches the loading zone, it actually takes a whole frame it takes 2 frames for Mario to take the loading zone. So if you actually jump on the frame you land on the ground, you can actually travel, like by jumping. In order to do Jr Troopa skip, you have to do about 15 or 16 frame perfect jumps, and it saves about a minute. So if you're just starting out, don't worry about it. It is not worth doing. So just don't do Jr Troopa skip. So right here, now what you're going to want to do is when you're in the playground, we need 6 playground coins. So first of all, this bush right here will have a coin. The coins are random, so they kind of go everywhere, anywhere. But you want these 3 bushes, and you can. This is the bush that has the hammer. So another thing you can do right before you get the hammer, this little time saver, is once you shake the bush, you can actually spin, and you'll be able to move right before the hammer cutscene starts. So if you spin this way, you'll be standing right about here by the time you get the hammer. And so when that happens, you can just hammer, you'll get another coin here. So that's the tree coin. And you'll spin up here and get this bush, and this bush has 2 coins. And then you need 10 coins from this. Did I only get 9? Wait, hello? C buttons? My C buttons don't work. Sorry, the Project 64 is dumb, but how many? Okay, good. I did get 16 coins. So by the end of this playground, you want about 16 coins, and then you're just gonna head back over here, and you're gonna start the first fight with Jr Troopa. I'll probably just cut out that little issue I had with my controller. Again, for these, you're just going to keep mashing A to jump a bunch of times. There's not really much you can do in this fight because we don't have action command yet. But yeah, again, keep holding B throughout this fight just to skip all the text as fast as possible. So in this run, for the beginning part, coins are very important. You don't want to lose any coins. You need 50 by the time you get Paracarry, so you can buy a badge called Speedy Spin. So by the end of the playground, you should have 16. You can check by hitting C up, so I have 16 there. If you're missing any coins so far, there's an extra one you can get in this block right here. So if you're missing a coin, go ahead and grab that. Break this block, come up here, grab this spring, and then we need this fire flower. Do not forget this fire flower, it's very important. So make sure you come, whoops, jump on the spring, get the fire flower. Another thing that's important is don't spin into the item. I know I didn't show it, but if you spin into the item, it's actually a little bit slower because Mario will finish the entire spin animation. So instead you spin and then you just walk into it or hammer it, doesn't really matter. And then head into this loading zone. This room has two ways to make sure you avoid all the encounters. The way I like to do is I like to just kind of spin towards the bottom and move along the bottom here. Glower likes to play a little bit riskier. He goes like along the top side of the room, and it's a little bit more risky because you have a higher chance of running into these Goombas, but again, doesn't really matter how you do it, you know, just like that, either way. That room is pretty easy. You just spin along the top or bottom and you can avoid the enemies. So yeah, that's pretty much that room. From here, you'll just open up this gate and continue to hold B. Now there's about a 40-second cutscene-ish. And so this is the first badge we get in the game. This badge is Power Jump. It's really important. It's really actually used for like the entire run, basically. So when you get the badge, you want to hit like basically any input to close this. You can actually spin the stick. So while you're waiting, just kind of spin the stick to clear that text. This is the tutorial for how to use badges. Hit no. You can hit no by pressing B. So just hold B, and then once you see that come up, just tap B again, and you'll automatically say no. Do not hit the A button at all during this cutscene, or else you'll do a tutorial. Alright, great. So we got Goombario. That's good. So I'm gonna go ahead and save state here. So immediately what you want to do is you want to equip this badge. So hit start. Oh no, I'm on Project 64. Okay. And just hit right A, and start. And then you're gonna have the badge equipped. If you don't have the badge equipped, you actually get an extra text box from this guy. If you break this block without the badge equipped, he'll say like, oh, you should equip the badge. It's, you know, whatever. So it actually skips an extra text box. This first room, the next room that I'm gonna be going into, is the first room that encountering enemies can actually be, or avoiding enemies is actually a little tricky. A lot of new players have trouble with avoiding these encounters, so I'll show you how most people do it. So what you're going to want to start by doing is you're going to walk forward until there are two Goombas right at the start, and you're going to let both of them notice you and kind of move towards the bottom, like towards the bottom of the room, and then you're going to want to kind of double back and then go around them. So I'll show you how it looks, and then I'll just do it again so you kind of get the idea. But you're going to lure them kind of low and then go up and then spin past them. And so it's going to look something like this. So one Goomba, two Goomba, spin past both of them. So that's pretty much what you have to do. I'll do it again just so you kind of get the idea. And you spin past both of them. And then while you're walking here, make sure to get both these coins. Oops, he's there. And then you're just going to keep spinning, and that Goomba won't notice you if you spin past him. So just one time fast. If you do get an encounter, don't worry about it. It is a little tricky. Just make sure you run away. If you're going to start losing. If you run away, you'll start losing coins. Collect as many as you can. Again, there are a bunch of backup coins that you can grab, so don't worry too much about the coins. Especially if, you know, getting the coin is going to make you get another encounter, which will make you lose more coins. So just watch out for that. Sometimes you just have to cut your losses and just, you know, keep going. There are definitely a lot of easier ways to get coins. So this next room, again, you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to lure a Spike Goomba down towards the bottom and then go up and around him. But you also want to grab the close call badge. So when you jump, the badge will actually go in the opposite direction. So if I were to hit the block with Mario right now, the badge will move to the left. So it'll move this way, over here. Oh, you can't see my cursor, actually. Let me turn on the cursor, sorry. Capture cursor. So if I jump, right, if the block's right here and I jump, the badge will actually bounce this way. And if you're avoiding a Spike Goomba, there's going to be a Spike Goomba here, so you don't want that. So once you get to the block, you're actually going to want to turn around really quick, so the badge actually moves to the right. So it sounds a little bit more complicated than it actually is, but I'll show you how it works. It's pretty simple. So you're going to... Okay, that goes in a weird spot. You spin past him, turn around, jump, grab the badge. It's that simple. The Spike Goomba can sometimes be in a weird spot. If you have to take it slow to avoid him, don't worry about it. Can I... Okay, I did not have it clicked. So again, I'll show it one more time. Lure him, spin past him, turn around, jump, grab the badge, and then keep spinning. And look at that, you did it. So that's this room. Don't worry about hitting the heart block. It's not required yet. You'll be fine as long as you have Power Jump and Fire Flower. Make sure that you have both of those. You have Power Jump equipped and the Fire Flower in your inventory. And now we're going to start our first fight with the red and blue Goombas. So this fight's pretty easy. What you're going to want to do is, ideally you would kill them at the same time, so that if you kill one of them, then the other one will have a text box. If you kill both of them at the same time, it saves a little text box and makes it so that there's only one death animation. So right off the bat, you're going to power jump the red Goomba, again mash A, and then you're going to head bonk the red Goomba. Both of them will attack you. So blue Goomba has 6 HP, red Goomba has 7 HP. So this is why power jump is almost required. So then you're going to power jump the blue Goomba, and you're going to do nothing with Goombario. If you head bonk with Goombario, it's not a big deal. Just make sure that you've head bonked the red Goomba. The red Goomba needs a head bonk. And then you're going to go up and then mash A to use the Fire Flower. And this will kill both of them at the same time. Now that we've finished this fight, we actually need to go back and heal. So once we're done here, we're going to go back to the heart block. This is to recover both HP and FP. And now you're just going to keep spinning through these rooms. Again, making sure to do the shortest jump possible so that you're in the air for the least amount of time. Alright, so Goomar King is a pretty simple fight, as long as you don't mess it up. So what you're going to want to do is, you're going to start by power jumping the Goomar King. So power jump, and then when you head bonk with Goombario, you're actually going to want to head bonk this. It's the tree, so hit like up left to switch your targets from Goomar King to the tree. Up doesn't really work. You can do left. It's like left or up left or whatever. Make sure you head bonk this this tree here, and that will actually just immediately kill the red and blue Goombas. So easy. He can give you 2 attacks. He can do this attack, or where he'll like come up and kick you. The attack where he drops the coconuts is a little bit faster, but again doesn't matter. Power jump and then head bonk, and Goomar King will be dead. And that's it. That's the first boss of the game. Alright, from here you're going to spin down right, talk to this bush, and hit it with the hammer. There's a glitch, kind of, where you can actually hit the switch out as it's coming out of the bush by jumping. But if you do that on Nintendo 64, the game will crash. So if you see Glower do that, don't do that unless you're on Wii U. Because, yes, what is your question, A is for Andis? Why did I not use the action command to do extra damage to Goomar King? You know, that's a good question. It's because I don't have action command yet. So here, just to always choose the first option, it's save and continue. Choosing don't save and continue, I think, is like 2 frames faster if you menu perfectly. So don't worry about it. Just just mash A for each of these Peach cutscenes. And we're almost at a prologue. We're almost done. We're almost getting to actual interesting stuff. Alright, so this first room of Toad Town, there's a little ledge in front of the shop. So ideally, you actually use that to cancel your spin and move a little bit faster. So I'll show you what happens there. But for these rooms, just kind of spin and fall off the ledge. It's a little bit faster to just fall the entire height of the stair instead of like going each step. So try to spin kind of towards the bottom of those steps. From here, you're going to spin, hopefully not get caught by that toad. So use that little ledge to cancel your spin to go a little bit faster. From here, you're going to go up to Shooting Star Summit, which is through this door. You can use that little brick to cancel your spin and go a little bit faster. There's a lot of really neat spin cancels in this entire run. I'll try to make note of the easy ones. You're going to keep going up here. Make sure you go up to this place instead of down to where Merly is. And then just talk to Eldstar. And now you get to watch more cutscenes. Yay! Again, just mash A to choose the first option. Alright, so right after this cutscene and following fight is actually the first glitch in the game. It's a glitch called Black Toad Skip. So it saves about a minute. I will show you how to do Black Toad Skip, but I will also show you a backup strat for it, and then I will also show the glitchless way to do it. So if you're really struggling with it, it loses about a minute to just not do it, but it's only a minute if you're just starting out. So right after this fight, so just keep spinning, and again just start holding B to go through all this. You're gonna get another prompt for a tutorial. Make sure you hit B. Do not hit A throughout this entire cutscene. It's very important. And again, spin the stick to close that menu. Prompt, hit B. Every runner ever has hit A there once, probably. Make sure you hit B. Don't like autopilot and just hit A. Just watch out for that. This fight, you're gonna start by power jumping. So now the mashing to cancel the squat timing, you can't really mash anymore or else you'll miss the after command. So try to time it. If you're struggling with it, then don't worry about it too much. But you're just gonna power jump him, and then you're gonna head bonk him with Goombario. So this guy has 8 HP. If you block this attack, it saves like 2 frames or something. It's not really worth it. So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna do a normal jump, and the reason for that is because you need to save 3 FP for later. So just do a normal jump. If you miss any of the action commands and you need some extra damage, go ahead and just do another head bonk with Goombario. He only has 8 HP, so and he only does 3 damage. So if you miss like every action command, you'll still win probably. Just make sure that you only use 1 power jump because you need to save 3 FP for later. Alright. So coming up is Black Toad Skip, so I'm gonna save state here. Oh wait, I need to be clicking on this F5, there we go. Oh my god, okay. Okay. So this little toad right here, this green toad, wow, that was fast. So I'll explain what I did there. So basically what's gonna happen is this green toad, if you spin into him, and then hammer, I believe the hammer is frame perfect, but you have a bunch of tries, you will just kind of clip out of bounds here. So I'll show that again. You spin down or up and then just hammer at the right time, you will clip out of bounds. It's actually that easy. You can see my inputs. I'll do it one more time. So this toad unfortunately is RNG. Okay, I missed it. So it's random whether he'll like stop here or not, but as you can see, you just spin down or up and then hit B and you'll clip out of bounds like that. So if you want another full explanation for this trick, you can watch N1's tutorial video. That'll be linked in the video description. But for this part, what you want to do is you want to line up such that Mario's boot, this line here, is a little bit below this black line. And what you're going to do is you're going to buffer with a hammer or a spin, doesn't matter. And then while he's spinning or while you're hammering, you're going to hold full right and then let go as Mario falls out of bounds. Yo, how's it going, Evil Tree Burner? And now Mario will be clipped into this post office a little bit. So I'm going to reload here. So, okay, I have to wait for him. So this is the first major trick of the run. So I'll actually save here. So if you like, let's say you're like lined up here and you fall out of bounds. If Mario, like if this happens and you respawn, that means you're actually a little bit too high up. If you do it and you actually land outside of the post office like that, it means you were too low. So make sure that Mario is lined up where his boot is just barely below this line here. And so again, hammer, hold right, let go, and Mario will end up here. From here, this is kind of the tricky part. You're gonna spin, and then you're gonna do a full jump. And during the full jump, you're gonna hold up and then roll your controller to full right. So what that looks like is spin, jump, and like that. And hopefully you get it. And if the screen if the parallax starts moving more, that means you got it. This is like the slower, safer, easier way to do it. And then from here, you're going to hammer, hold down right, and then roll to down. So it looks like this. And with that, you just skip the black toads. So if you do it all in one motion, it's going to look like this. Just a touch more down. It's a little too low. Oh, okay. So I actually messed that up. So in that case, I was actually too slow with moving to the right. So I'll try this again. Oh, okay, that was weird, but yeah. So if you mess up that last part, don't worry about it. You should just land right behind the Toad House. But yeah, that's the Black Toad Skip. So if you're struggling to do Black Toad Skip, there's actually a backup strat. So the hard part is definitely going from this post office to behind the Toad House like that. If you're trying to find another way to do it, there's actually another thing called Merlin Skips. You actually need to talk to the Black Toads first. I forgot about that part. So if you're struggling with post office clip, then once you come out of Shooting Star Summit, you're going to want to come over here and talk to the Black Toads. And this is actually what's going to trigger Merlin to do something. And then you go back. That's my bad. I'll probably just cut that out. Oh my god, this green toad's weird. Okay, so now that you're here, you can kind of fall right into Merlin's house. So the camera will do some wonky stuff, but okay, so I'm over here, talk to Merlin, and then he will say, what? There's some weird people, and you have to just navigate your way out of his house, and then he will you'll get to the black toads, and you'll start a cutscene like this, and he'll say like, "Oh, be gone," and that'll let you just get to the loading zone without having to do black toad skip. If you're really struggling with this toad clip, then what you can do is after you talk to the black toads, you can just open the door here, just like so. Here, I'll show you what the glitchless method looks like. So if you talk to the toads, they'll be like, "No, you can't pass," blah 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 blah. And then if you're really struggling with the toad push, you can actually come over here, open the door, talk to the door twice. Merlin will come out, say like, "Oh, you're Mario, come in, I have stuff I need to tell you." And then he'll be like, blah 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 blah, long cutscene. Yeah. So doing black toad skip saves about a minute. During Merlin skip, probably saves 30-ish seconds because you skip this whole cutscene and you can just immediately talk to Merlin. But yeah, that's the first like major part of the run. Alright, so now we're moving on. And again, if you want to see these tricks described a little bit better and more in depth, go ahead and watch N1's tutorial videos. So for these rooms, just spin along the top of the room and you won't get caught. Grab this coin, and just keep spinning. Grab this fright jar, and you can keep going. This block, make sure you're facing left when you open it, and as it's falling, hit that tree. If you have the right timing, you'll actually grab the POW block while the switch is falling, so you'll kind of overlap two cutscenes. Hit the switch and just keep going. I like to spin along the top, it helps you avoid this Koopa. And then you're going to grab 10 coins from this block right here. 8, 9, 10. So at this point you should have 33 coins. I actually have an extra because I got that extra block. If you're short a couple coins, there's a few extras you can get here in Koopa Village. So I'll show those really quick. So if you need one backup coin, there's one in this bush right here. You can just grab that. If you're still a little short a few coins, you can grab one in this bush right here. But overall, you keep going. So those are two fast. Like if you're missing 1 or 2 coins, those two are pretty fast. But yeah, now we're just gonna go to this door. So this is the fuzzy minigame. Fuzzy minigame is RNG, so you could lose, a couple seconds here or there. Just try to follow the fuzzy. The first two are pretty easy. The third one can be kind of tricky. A trick that I like to do is I like to count the number of bounces that you hear, and then that will help tell you which tree he's in. So I'll show you kind of what I mean. So right now he's in the 3rd tree. So the first bounce doesn't count, so that's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he did 8 bounces, which means he has to be in this tree over here. And that'll be helpful for this last one, so I'll show you. The first sound you hear isn't actually a bounce, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so he did 7 bounces, which means he's either in the 1 tree over or 3 trees over, but since I saw him here, he's going to be in this tree. It's a little trick I like to use when Fuzzy's, kind of bounces between the same 2 trees over and over again. So yeah, you got Cooper's shell for him, and I just kind of keep going. Hit A that time so that Cooper will join your party. And now we have to fight the fuzzies. So this fuzzy fight, what you're going to do is you're going to use the POW block, and then you're going to use the power shell. So this is why you needed the 3 FP. So again, you're just going to mash A to use POW block, and then you're going to power shell. You don't actually need to time this, so just let it go once it's, like, you know, at 1 light, and you'll get it. So from here, you're actually going to grab this badge right here. It's called HP+. So jump onto this log and use Cooper with C down. You'll get HP+, and now you can just leave. So that badge is really important. Do not forget to get HP+. You need HP+. Something I forgot to mention, but if you accidentally messed up and you used more FP, so if you don't have 3 FP, a quick backup is in this bush right here. There's a Koopa leaf. If you grab this Koopa leaf and eat it, you will actually gain 3 FP. So if you accidentally power jumped the Magic Koopa twice, go ahead and grab that Koopa leaf. If you're still short on coins, I don't think the coins respawn. No, the coins don't respawn, so you'll have to get some more from a different place, and I'll show that later. But as of this point, you should have 33 coins. I have a couple extra. So now, yeah, we're just going to go head over to Koopa Bros Fortress. For this screen, if you spin and jump immediately, you'll actually get caught by this Koopa that's like hiding in this bush right here. So what I like to do is I like to walk a little bit, or walk for like, you know, about half a second and then spin. So like that, and you'll just spin right through the coins, so the Koopa doesn't hit you. If you don't do that, then this is kind of what happens, and I'll show it. Like if you spin immediately, you'll probably get caught by the Koopa, so make sure you walk and then spin, and you'll just spin right past him. You need this Thunderbolt, so C down to get this Thunderbolt. Spin, grab this, and now we're going to go hit this switch. That Spike Goomba can actually sometimes be in a really annoying place. If he's like in a bad spot, so like if he's... let me see if I can hit this. So you hit this. If he's like, you know, there, just kind of run around in a circle to avoid him. You really want to avoid that encounter. Again, it's better to waste a second or two trying to avoid an enemy than getting an encounter. So go ahead and just, you know, make that circle. This Paratroopa is really annoying. So if he's in a bad spot, go ahead and let him like attack you, you know, and then kind of go around him. That's a good way to do it, just to make sure you avoid him. Okay. But once you do that, you can just keep going. Kind of like to spin along the bottom here. So this next part, make sure that you hit this heart block here. This heart block's really important. You need to make sure you hit it, so do that. And then now we're going to head over to Koopa Bros Fortress. Alright, so this first fight now, just go ahead and spin into him. And you're going to use power jump and then an untimed shell shot. So power jump. If you miss the action command, so if you only do 2 damage, go ahead and time this. But if you hit it, then just, you know, flick the stick. That'll kill the Koopa, and this Bomb will now be mad and explode in your face. If you block, it saves 1 frame. So don't really worry about it. And then you're going to level up FP, so go ahead and just mash A in that case. Grab the key. So when you open the locks, you actually have to wait a little bit for it to, like, the lock to fully disappear. As you see, I kind of jumped in front of that door. So just go ahead and, like, you have to, like, wait like a second or two. It's kind of weird. Alright. So this badge right here, you're going to need, so power bounce. So what I like to do is, oh shoot, I don't remember last time I save stated, but I'll actually show this again to show a little quick method to get that. Actually need to reload the room. So I'm going to save state here. So you're just going to start by spinning full right, and then kind of go along the top here. Wait for this Goomba or Koopa to fully come out, and then you can ride the wall angle, and then you can just grab this badge, and you can come out and go through this door. So yeah, there is actually a hole back there, so just kind of walk into it and you'll go through. Okay, so this Koopa is kind of annoying. You have to watch out for him because sometimes he can be there, sometimes he can be like all the way down here. So just watch out, and you want to get up to the top here. So this is the next major glitch. It's called Staircase Skip. So what you're going to do is you're going to move Mario as far to the edge as you can. And what you're going to do is you're going to do a full jump and then tap down, tap up, and then tap down again. And what that will do is Mario will clip through this the side of this staircase, and you'll end up in the basement. So again, it's full jump, tap down, up, down, and then I'll show what that looks like. So jump down, up, down, and you'll land on this seam. Where did I save state? Yeah, so if you hold up for if you hold down for too long, you won't get the clip. If you hold up for too long, you will probably end up, you'll fall again. So if you like do something like this, you won't get the clip. So like that was me holding down for too long. Make sure you're looking at the input display to see kind of what I'm talking about. Oops. If you want to reposition yourself, the best way to do it is to jump and then tap. So again, so kind of like that. So if you hold up for too long, it'll look it'll look something like this. If that happens, just keep holding down, and you'll end up in this little area right here. So ideally is you land here. If you keep holding at the end, if you hold down for too long, you'll actually clip. So I'm still out of bounds here, by the way. This is still technically out of bounds. If you hold down, you'll clip back in bounds like that. If you clip back in bounds, it's not a big deal. I'll show you what to do, but basically what you're going to do is if you clip back in bounds is you'll go here to this corner, and you kind of are out of bounds now. It's actually that simple. You just kind of walk into the corner, and now you're out of bounds. So if you land on the seam or you're out of bounds here, what we're going to do is once you're about here-ish, the second line in the back, so like this line right here, once you're about here, you're gonna jump and then hold upright. So I'm walking, and then from here you jump, hold upright, and you'll land at the top here in this door. You'll hold left, come out of bounds, or come back in bounds, and then you can open this door. So full thing again looks kind of like this. Oh, whoops. Okay, not like that actually. Okay, so I accidentally clipped back in bounds, so that's okay. So you just kind of go into this corner, and then just like that, you're out of bounds. Right about there, you hold, and then you go left, open this door. And that's Staircase Skip. Chapter 1 Staircase Skip. So now we're going to get Bombette. That's the next partner. And the only reason we're actually coming to Chapter 1. So hit this little switch and fall into their trap. Oh no, oops. We fell for the trap. So from here, just talk to Bombette, and she'll say like, "Oh, haha, I'm Bombette. I want to join you." And hit yes to get her to join you. So again, C down to get Bombette to blow up this wall. And this next fight for jail fight, we're going to use a Fright Jar. So a Fright Jar has a 90% chance to work on each of these enemies. So there's a chance that one of them will not run. Whoops. Keep forgetting I need to be clicked on. So you're going to open the menu, hit down one, use a Fright Jar. Hopefully they all run away. If one of the enemies doesn't run away, there's backups, so let's see if I can get that to happen. I probably can't. It's actually hard to get them to not run away, honestly, but there's a chance. Okay, well. If they don't run away, if the Koopa doesn't run away, you're going to use Bomb on the Koopa. If either of the Bob-Bombs don't run away, you're actually going to use an untimed Body Slam with Bombette, and then you're going to let the bomb explode in your face. But after the fight, so here, I'll just do it one more time. So after the fight, what you want to do is you want to pick up all 9 of the coins that drop. Okay, so it still worked. Okay. So you're actually going to want to pick up all 9 of these coins. Oh god. So yeah, make sure you get all 9. And after this, you should have 47. So again, I have 3 extra coins, but the number you're looking for is 47. If you have fewer than that, that's okay. You know, there's a bunch of backups. Or if you're trying to play safe, you can grab those backups early. So now that we have Bombette, we're actually just gonna leave. We don't need anything else from this from Chapter 1. So we're actually just gonna go ahead and leave all the way back to Toad Town. If you had to use a bomb on if you didn't get all 3 run away in a jail fight, so if you're low on HP or FP, go ahead and hit this heart block to heal back up to 10-10. So yeah, go ahead and do that if you didn't get all 3 run away. Again, just kind of spin along the bottom and you'll avoid enemies here. This Paratroopa, again, if you want to, go ahead and just lure him and then go around him. Same thing for this guy. I like to go above him just to make sure he doesn't hit you, and then that Koopa won't get you. If you are still... Actually, I don't know if the coins respawn. Let me check if the coin respawns. I don't actually know if it does. If you're still short a coin, you can actually grab another one here? No, you can't. Okay, just kidding. I lied. The coins do not respawn there, so... There's still actually more backups, don't worry. So yeah, I like to just kind of spin along the top here. Don't get that sleepy sheep, you don't need it. And then again, I just spin along the top. Careful that Spike Goomba, that's the only one that can give you trouble sometimes. And with that, we skipped all the enemies. Alright, great. Now we're back in Toad Town. So this glitch is called log skip. So it's kind of hard to explain exactly what's going on, but I think GigaDB has a really good tutorial on it. N1 also has a tutorial on this. So I'll just try to explain it briefly. So this first room right here has a guy named Ralph. This is Ralph. And what you're going to want to do is this little thing will fall down. So when it falls down, Ralph will come and try to fix it. So you're going to start by holding full left, do 2 full jumps, hammer, and then, okay, we'll fall out of bounds, but you would jump, and just like that, I'm now out of bounds. So from here, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to line Mario up such that his glove is kind of right on the edge of this little, like, line, this, like, the end of the fence. And so there's 4 angles you're gonna have to hold. So I'll go through each of the angles like in one fall. So the way I like to do it is I start by holding down, and then once Mario falls off, you're gonna hold the first angle, which is slightly down from down right, just a little bit. And then once Mario respawns and falls off again, you're gonna hold up right. And then before Mario respawns, you're going to start holding left. And I'll actually do that because once you get to the holding left, Mario can actually hold that for however long he wants. So I'm just going to watch my inputs and you'll see what I'm talking about. So down, and then hold slightly down from down right. Once he respawns, hold up right. Oh, okay. So my first angle was actually not that great. So yeah, more like here's a good position. You kind of want Mario's glove, I guess, like Mario, like a little bit over this like line right here. The lineup is kind of weird. Another thing you can do, it's a really awkward lineup, but like Mario's hat here, when you jump, it's kind of in line with this like circle here. Kind of an awkward lineup, but that's another way you can do it. Again, Giga has a pretty good explanation, but fall down, slightly down from down right. Okay, so that one, I was actually, if you start walking, it means that your angle was a little bit, was not far down enough. So I need to do a little bit more down, so kind of like that. And then you hold up right. And then you hold full left. So from here you can actually hold left like forever. Like forever, however long you want. And so the next angle you want to hold here is actually slightly left of up left. And so that angle, yeah, so then hold slightly up from up left, and then after Mario respawns and starts to fall again, you're going to hold up right. So that kind of looks like this. So let's see, so kind of like that, and then Mario respawns, hold up left. And so you want to basically land over here. So what happened for me is I actually didn't store the loading zone, which means my first two angles were not quite correct. So I'm going to actually reload here. I'm going to hold slightly down from down right, hold up right. That should store the loading zone, hold full left. So you can, again, hold left for as long as you want. It doesn't really matter. But ideally you would be about here. Okay. So in that case, I actually, my up left angle was not, it was actually too far up. It wasn't left enough. It was too up. So you need to be a little bit more to the left. Let's see. So and so just like that, you will skip the logs. So again, it's a pretty tricky. This is definitely a hard barrier to get through for a lot of people learning the game, learning this category. It's a hard trick. There are actually a lot of tutorials on this one trick because it can be pretty tricky to get. So I'll do it one more time so you guys can see all my inputs. So slightly down from down right, up right, hold left, slightly left of up left, and then up right. And just like that, you will have skipped these logs. If you're having trouble with this trick, don't be afraid to ask for help in the Discord. This is a hard trick. A lot of people struggle with it the first time. So yeah, a lot of people are really here to help you. There's tons of tutorials on this one trick alone. But once you get past that, you're going to talk to this bulb, get the seed. So make sure you get that. And then from here, we are going to move on to Chapter 2. Go ahead and blow up this rock. And once Bombette respawns, you can talk to this dude. So this is an unskippable cutscene, so if you're playing, make sure you take a sip of water, stay hydrated. Alright, again, just mash all three, start A and B, and you'll eventually skip it. Alright, so this next part, what we need to do is we need to deliver all of Parakarry's letters back to him, because we need Parakarry. Parakarry is a very important character, very important partner to have. Oh shoot, I don't have anything mapped to L. That's not good. I don't know how to do this last part if I don't have L. So I need to remap really quickly. Alright, L will be that button, I guess. Yeah, so I'll get to that when I get there, but so first thing you're going to want to do is grab a whack-a-bump from over here. So this guy, if you hit him with a hammer, he'll give you a whack-a-bump. This is a really broken item, honestly, to be able to get it in Chapter 2. So go ahead and we're going to grab 2 of those. One right now, and then one when you come back at the end. But, I'm going to come over here. Oops. This is the first letter. And we're going to get this letter. While Cooper's getting it, go ahead and spin on this ledge. It saves a little bit of time. Watch out for this guy. So most enemies to avoid, you just kind of go around them. There's not really like a trick to avoid all of them. You just kind of have to like move. I don't really know how to explain it. From here, you're going to grab this letter. I like to walk a little bit before spinning off the top of the cliff. So this guy looks like he's about to charge me, so just kind of spin up to avoid him. So like in that case, it's more worth it to spend more time going around an enemy than getting the encounter. So this next trick is kind of weird. Again, if you can't do it, don't worry about it. You can it saves like 40 seconds, maybe a little bit less than that. I don't exactly remember. But right here, there's a little, you can kind of see it when Mario walks, honestly. There's like a little like weird collision issue going on here. So what you can actually do is you can position Mario in such a way that you like clip through this. So what N64 runners do is if you hold an angle like about like this angle-ish, and then hold L, R, and start, you'll actually... Wait, does that not work on... Oh my god, it does not work on emulator. Well, that's good. Okay, so this doesn't work on emulator. Alright, well, ignoring that. Once you get the letter, you're just going to spin along the top here to avoid this guy, and you're going to keep going. Just kind of go through this slide, and we just need to get the final letter. So early seed saves about, I want to say like 40 seconds. It saves some like backtracking. In this room, if you just hold full left, you won't get any encounters, so go ahead and just do that. If you're still short a coin, so if you only have 46 coins, this block right here has a coin. And from here, you're going to use Cooper, and then just kind of spin off like that. So now we have all 3 letters. We're going to return to Parakarry, and he will join our party. While we're doing this, we're actually going to grab one more Whack-A-Bump. So we need 3, or sorry, we need 2, so this is going to be our second. Make sure you grab that. Now we're just going to head out. Great. So if you didn't do early seed, which I will hopefully cut into this YouTube video, you're gonna need to go back and grab the seed once you have Parakarry. So you're gonna hit yes, and Parakarry will now join you. So yeah, now we need to go back, grab the seed. So this is what early seed saves. You don't have to do this backtracking. So early seed, again, not required. It's a very finicky trick, so if you're not getting it, don't worry too much about it. It is tricky, it is kind of weird, and doesn't make a lot of sense, but and it only saves about 40 seconds, so if you're just trying to get a run, don't worry too much about it. So yeah, use Parakarry, talk to this dude, and get a seed again. Awesome. So now we're going to leave Chapter 2. We have done everything we need to do in Chapter 2. So, before you leave, I should have explained this before getting Parakarry. So, if you do early seed, before you get Parakarry, or if you don't do early seed and go back, make sure you go down this slide. So this slide here has 3 coins. So if you have 47 coins, you ride this slide. So I probably should have explained that earlier. That's my mistake. But the idea is this will give you the last 3 coins you need. So after this slide, you should be at 50 coins. If you're still short a few coins, there are still a couple more backups. So yeah, with that, we're just going to head back. So yeah, now that we've seen this cutscene once, we can skip it. So again, mash start A and B, and hopefully you'll get it as fast as possible. Alright. So if you are short, I'm probably planning. So if you are short 10 or fewer coins, the fastest way to get more coins, so there's actually 10 more coins at the harbor. So go ahead and spin your way all the way to the left, and we're going to come all the way over here. And you have to go around these boxes, and then jump on this little box, and this block right here will have 10 coins, so 1, 2... and so with that, you'll get 10 extra coins. So I just picked up an extra 14 coins that weren't actually that long. If you are more than 14 coins short, so if you've gotten like, 4 or 5 encounters and you are really, really lacking coins, the best thing you could do would be to get and sell a third whack-a-bump. So if you, really are struggling on coins, you've gotten too many encounters, a whack-a-bump here will sell for 50 coins. So if you're like just starting out and you're really worried about coin count, go ahead and actually grab a third whack-a-bump, and you can sell that at this shop and you'll have the 50 coins. So again, we need 50 coins to buy a speedy spin. That's what we're trying to get. Okay, so now that we have 50 coins, we're going to go get Speedy Spin. So Speedy Spin actually has a chance to not show up. So let's see if I didn't get first try Speedy Spin. So this guy will give you a little, tell you like, oh hey, I have badges for you. And so there's a 75% chance that Speedy Spin will show up. It's this one with the pink sparkles. So there's 4 badges he could possibly sell, and there are 3 in the shop. So it's possible that Speedy Spin doesn't show up. I'm gonna go ahead and just buy it since it's here, but if Speedy Spin doesn't show up, I'll show you what to do. So if Speedy Spin doesn't show up, you got pretty unlucky. You got the 25% chance it didn't show up. You actually have to go 2 screens away. So you have to go to this screen, and then you have to go back to the badge shop and hope he has it. I think each time you don't get it loses about like 20 seconds-ish, so each try is 20 seconds, and then he'll have 3 different badges in a different order. So keep doing that until you get Speedy Spin, and hopefully you don't get that bad of luck. But once you get Speedy Spin, we're going to equip it immediately, and while we're equipping it, we're going to actually equip Power Bounce. So unequip Power Jump, equip Power Bounce, and Speedy Spin, and then hit start to close it. And with that, now we have Speedy Spin. We are moving fast now. Alright. So next up, we actually have what is probably the hardest trick in the game. It is Blue House Skip. So if you know anything about Paper Mario speedrunning, you probably know that Blue House Skip is very, very difficult. It is a pixel perfect and frame perfect trick. So what's going on is inside this house there are these 2 little boxes. You can actually kind of see what's going on here. There are these boxes inside, and they slightly clip through the corner. And so there's actually a frame where Mario can stand on the box and jump again. So while Mario is standing on that and he jumps, you can actually gain enough height to clip through the ceiling of the house. So the ceiling of the house does not have collision. So you can actually just clip right through it if you jump again. But part of the hard part is that you actually need Mario, when you jump, your control stick actually has to be in a completely neutral position. You cannot be holding the stick in any direction, or else Mario will not do the jump. So I'm playing on emulator with a GameCube controller, which is not what I'm used to, so hopefully I can get it. But the setup is you want Mario to line up about here. So there's a little dark spot like right here on the ground. You want Mario lined up kind of on top of that dark spot. And then what you're going to do is you're going to spin, hold full left, do a full jump, and then once Mario is in the right spot, you're going to hit A again. And again, it's a timing thing. It's mostly muscle memory. It's very hard, but so that's what you're looking for the first part. So I'll try to step through it a little bit. This is, again, a really hard trick. There are several tutorials on this trick, so go ahead and check out GigaDB or N1's tutorial if you need a little bit more explanation. But you're going to spin, hold left, and do a full jump. And what you're looking for is Mario doing that. So that means that Mario landed on the box for the frame that you need. And so on that frame, so that time I didn't get it. So on that frame, you're going to want to input another jump. But you want your stick to be completely neutral. And then once you do that jump, you're going to hold up right and then roll to up left very quickly. Again, it's a hard trick, really fast paced, but let's see if I can get it. Alright, so that's what Blue House Skip looks like. Again, it's a very hard trick. N1 and GigaDB have very, very in-depth tutorials and ways to improve. Again, if you are struggling with the trick, feel free to ask questions in Discord. It is pretty tricky and is a very big barrier for entry for a lot of new runners. I personally, it took me like a week to learn it or something like that. But some people are naturally better than others and will pick it up faster. Again, frame perfect, pixel perfect. So from here, if you're in the house, if you move along the bottom, you should see Mario's shadow. So like right here, this little shadow that's moving left and right, that's Mario's shadow. So you can use that as like a little reference. So you want Mario to be right, just like a little bit to the right of this shadow. You're gonna hold up for about a second and then jump and then hold down. So up, jump, and then down, and you'll enter the blue pipe just like that. So that's Blue House Skip. I will put links to other tutorials in the description and probably on screen. I think I can do that. I'm not really sure, but yeah. So next up, just switch to Bombette, hit C down, and then after that, you're actually going to switch back to Paracarry. You only need Bombette to blow up that wall, and then from here we're going to fight our next boss, Blooper. So I'm actually going to save state. For these next enemies, the Dark Koopas, you can actually avoid them by... I'm actually going to reload the room because it's kind of weird. You can actually avoid them by kind of spinning along the top of the walkway right by the water. So I'll kind of show you what I mean. If you spin down and then spin along the top here, you should avoid both the Dark Koopas. And then with that, you're actually just going to enter this screen, and we're going to fight Blooper. So Blooper's a little bit tricky. And now is probably a good time to introduce Power Bounce and Power Bounce caps. So the way Power Bounce works is it lets you jump on an enemy repeatedly until you miss an action command. But for most enemies, that'll go on until you've jumped on them 100 times. But for bosses, there are the game sets a cap. So the game will say like, oh, you have jumped on this boss enough times, you can no longer jump on them, even if you get the timing correct. And so with that, and it's totally random what that number is. So certain bosses have different like percent chances for each number of bounces. Blooper, you can get anywhere between 8 to 19 bounces, but more realistically, you'll probably get anywhere between 10 to 15. That's like average. Blooper has 30 health, so for this fight, ideally what you do is you get 12 ideally you would get 12 bounces on the first one, and then after that you would get 13. That would be the most ideal. If not, you keep bouncing until you've dealt enough damage. That's pretty much this fight in a nutshell. So I'll kind of show what I mean. Hopefully the input delay of emulator doesn't mess me up, but it might. So I'm just gonna save state, and then hopefully I can do this right. Okay, that was just my mistake. All right. Okay, so I just got 13 bounces, and you'll know if you got bounced versus capped. So actually I'll show you again. So if you miss an action command, Mario will actually just kind of drop straight down to the ground like that. Whereas if you get capped, so in that case you saw Mario like flew back all the way across the screen. That means I got capped, which means you would not have been able to continue, even if you kept hitting the action command correctly. So right now I actually dealt 11 damage to him. So if you deal... So the goal is to deal 25 damage to him, and if you do that, then you can use Shell Shot. Right now I have dealt 11, so if you deal 11, it's recommended you actually just do a skydive here, because you would need a 14 cap next turn, which is a little bit unlikely, but so you could do a skydive. If you get 12 or more, then go ahead and do a Shell Shot. If you get 11, then if you get 11 or fewer, then do a skydive just for safety. So Blooper, he probably won't kill you, but you want to block just in case you mess up the power bounces or something. So now we're gonna power bounce again. Okay, so I accidentally dropped it at 6 there. So if you drop it at 6, if you drop it at any time, you can just do one more power bounce after that. So in this case, I'm just gonna skydive again. So power bounce, I believe, is like a 5 or 6, or action command is about a 5 or 6 frame window. But as you power bounce more, it gets lower and lower. And once you get to 6 or higher, it's actually a 2 frame window. So you actually only have 2 frames to hit the action command once you pass 6. So if by Berserker's second turn you haven't dealt 25 damage to him, go ahead and skydive again so you can power bounce a 3rd time. So right now I've dealt 13, 8, so I've dealt 21, I think. So I'm just going to power bounce one more time. And then with 9, I did 10 there, I got capped at 10, and he's dead. So that's what that blooper fight looks like. If you want the best case scenario, let's see if I can get it. Okay, so I got 10 there, so 10, I'm gonna skydive again. So now he's at 12, so if I can get 13 here, then I can actually skydive, which would be the most ideal. So I actually got 13. So I actually stopped it at 13, and the reason I stopped it at 13 is because I've dealt 25 damage to him, which means now I can actually Shell Shot, and that will kill him. So that's kind of ideally what you would want. That's a pretty good blooper fight, is getting that. But if you don't get good enough caps, just 3 power bounces should be enough. And if you're still struggling, like if you really can't do power bounce, something you could do is you could actually, if you're really struggling with doing that fight, getting power bounces past 6, you could go pick up, when you're in Chapter 2, pick up another Whack-A-Bump and then eat that. But I recommend just practicing the power bounces if you're really struggling with them. With that, we're just going to head into Chapter 5. So now we are in Chapter 5. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to this loading zone over here. And we're going to completely ignore Colorado because he's not very smart. And so by doing this, we're actually starting the sushi, or starting by triggering the sushi event. So after this, we can actually get sushi as our partner. And so from here, we're actually going to grab this jam and jelly. So there's jam and jelly behind the tree. If you forget it, you can get it after Chapter 5, but it will mess up your menus a little bit. So try to get it now if you can remember it. Colorado will still say something, but it's not a big deal. And with that, now we can get sushi. So we're just going to go up to this room and pick up sushi. Oops. So just hammer this tree 3 times and we'll get sushi as a partner. We need sushi for actually a couple things. Sushi's has one really big use. That will be in Chapter 7. And then a couple other necessary moments in Chapter 6 that you'll see soon. Alright, so next is actually a huge glitch. So this is one of the English only, or Japanese only glitches. This is one of the 2, so I will explain both methods and a couple backups. So you're actually going to switch back to paracarry here. Oh, whoops. So I'm going to F5 to save state. And so if you're on Japanese, what you're going to do is you're going to come over to this tree. You're going to hold left. You're going to hold down to kind of push yourself into that bush, and then hold left, let go, and then hit C down. Hold left and hit C down. You can kind of hold down from... This trick is kind of weird sometimes, but... hello? Okay. So yeah, if you hold like... So it's kind of some people say different things, but if you hold like slightly down from left, or if you, sometimes you can just hold straight left and will work, but, slightly down from left works. Sometimes. Come on, game. This clip is very finicky. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Oh. Alright, and you will just kind of clip into the tree like this. It's honestly that easy. Sometimes it just doesn't work though, but yeah, and you'll just clip out of bounds here like that, and then this will set up what's called a Yoshi skip. So this is the part that's Japanese only. So on English, you actually can't paracarry through this tree. But there's a couple different ways to do it on English, so I will kind of cover those. So one of the methods it's called English Yoshi Skip. You actually jump up this tree. It's very finicky. There's a setup that A is for Andis has. I will go ahead and link that. And I believe what he does is he lines himself up with this tree somehow, and like, how does he do it? Then he like paracarries, I think. I think he holds like, I'm trying to remember exactly how he does it, but there is a method, and I will link that. But another way you could do it is there's a way to just jump up this tree. It's very finicky as well. And there is also a tutorial by, I believe it's Glad Jonas, who made a tutorial on English Yoshi Skip. So if you're playing on English, I'll make sure to link those. See if I can get it. So this is kind of one of the reasons a lot of people don't like playing on English, is because this trick is very uncooperative and doesn't really make a lot of sense. It kind of just like works sometimes, and sometimes it just doesn't. So you kind of just keep jumping up this tree like this. And then once Mario's head is about here, you're going to spin and do a full jump. And then you walk out of bounds. Now you're out of bounds. So that's English Yoshi Skip. It's about as dumb as it looks. And then there is actually a second way to do English Yoshi Skip using loading zone storage. So if you come here and do a bunch of frame perfect jumps like this, I'll see if I can do it. Oh, whoops. That Okay, so that almost got it. So you need to do about, like, I think you need to do about, like, 6 or 7 jumps down, and that will skew your angle. That should be... Ah, that didn't get it? Wow, okay. Oops. So the idea is you do a bunch of jumps, and then Mario's angle will be skewed. This is kind of not really recommended. If you're on English, I recommend doing the A is for Andis method. Whatever that... I'll link that video, make sure you see it. It's pretty easy. There's also the Glad Jonas method, which is jumping up this tree. But if you're on Japanese, then just come to this tree and then use para-carry, and yeah, it's that easy. From here, you'll hold up. I like to fall out of bounds here at least once. That will put you on the seam as close as possible. Some people, if you want to be a little bit faster, don't do that, but it's a little bit riskier. And so what we need to do now is these 2 bushes right here actually have a loading zone. So if I kind of walk, I will hit this trigger, and I don't want that. I don't want to go to that loading zone. So I need to jump around it. So what you'll do is you'll start by holding right to run, and then you'll do a full jump. You'll tap up right. Oh, sorry, you'll be holding left, jump, tap or hold upright for about half a second, and then hold down right for about half a second. And that'll make it so you go around the loading zone and end up back on the seam. So what I mean by that is it's going to look something like this. So you're going to hold right, jump, up right, up left, and then you'll land on the other side of the loading zone, still out of bounds. So kind of, again, if I do it again, it'll be... So up right, down right, and now I'm around the loading zone. So from here, now we're still on the seam, so what you're going to do is you're going to get over here, and then the way I like to do it, some people have a couple different methods, but I like to, once I get to about this rock, I jump, hold upright for about half a second, and then I hold down right for the rest of the jump. And that actually lands me right on top of the volcano. So that'll kind of look like this. So jump, upright, down right, and with that, I'm now up here, ready to enter the volcano. So whole trick again, I'll do the whole thing. If you're in Japanese, you come here, para-carry. Sometimes it doesn't work. Just do it till it works. Alright. There we go. Fall out of bounds. Hold right, jump, up right, down right. Land on the seam, spin, spin. Jump, up right, down right. And bam. And just like that, we skip like a 15-minute Yoshi side quest. It is a great skip. I love Yoshi skip, because getting the Yoshi sucks. So this room right here, there's a little, something called early cycle. So as soon as Colorado's done talking, if you're fast enough, you can actually make the platform cycle. So let's see if I can get it. Yeah, so I made that. So that's about a 15-second time save if you do it fast enough. If not, you just wait for the platform. Loses about 15 seconds. Okay, that guy... Yeah, again, if you need to avoid an enemy, just kind of circle around him. Normally, what happens is he'll notice you. Let's see. So normally, as soon as you land, he'll notice you, and you kind of do that. At least that's how I like to avoid him. Okay, I just didn't jump. Okay. And then there we go. There's a little trick here you can do. It's called lower jump. I'm not very good at it. Okay, yeah. So, I'll link a clip of it in a tiny tutorial. Yeah, so your angle, you need to jump. And if your angle is right, it'll land out of bounds. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, it's kind of weird. The idea is there's like an invisible wall that doesn't exist. Okay, yeah, I can't really get it. It's a really hard trick. I will link a video of Glower doing it. But it saves about 6 seconds if you get it. If not, you just come down here, grab this pulley, and enter this door. Alright, so this room right here has a hidden life room. It's right here. So normally when you first enter the room, just spin upright, and then jump twice, and you should hit it. It's pretty easy to find if you just right about here. It's hard to say like exactly where some of these hidden blocks are, but you should be able to find it if you hold upright and then jump twice. You'll just hit it. Next trick is called half-baked pie jump, or lava puzzle skip. So there's two ways to do it. On a safe state. So one way you can do it is you can just carry over, and then once you're over here, you can kind of line yourself up here and then do a full jump and hold left. Again, if you want to watch my controller inputs, that's the best way to mimic this glitch. You kind of line yourself up, you know, out of bounds a little bit. That time I went a little bit too far and landed in the lava. But ideally, you jump, do a full jump, and then kind of roll your stick from down to left. Or another way to do it is you could get yourself out of bounds here, use paracarry, and I like to do it like this, where you hold down right, and mess that up a little bit. Hold down right, let go of paracarry. This way is a little bit riskier, but I think it's a little bit faster. And then once you land with paracarry, you fall and then hold right, and you'll land on this side. However way you like to do it, I think paracarrying across the lava and then jumping around is a little bit easier, but whichever way works for you. Here you're going to push this block, and you can actually paracarry if you stand at the edge of the block. It's actually really lenient how much space you have, and then you're going to spin up here and grab the Ultra Hammer. So now that we have the Ultra Hammer, this puzzle actually solves itself, so that's the reason why it's doable. Otherwise, you would actually soft lock. So yeah, now that we have the Ultra Hammer, we can go break this this block here. So now there's a little cutscene. So next up, what we're going to do is we're actually going to upgrade Bonnet. So while we're traveling down this pulley, you're actually going to jump off. There's going to be lights. So you'll see the lights, or like, it's not like a light, but like a white area. That right there. It's really hard to miss. You're just going to jump off right there, and you're going to upgrade Bonnet. Sorry, I've been talking a lot. Alright. Now that we've upgraded Bonnet, we're going to head back and actually take the pulley the entire time. This room, it's kind of, you know, oh no, giant block, but if you just spin and jump, you completely outrun this thing, and the camera gets kind of wonky. While I'm riding here, I like to switch back to paracarry, because you'll need him out soon. For this room, what I'd like to do is I actually like to spin into the fire and use the invincibility frames to avoid these lava bubbles. The reason you can do that is because you need to wait for this platform cycle, so it really doesn't matter. There's no way to get an earlier cycle, so go ahead and use those fire bars for invincibility frames. So yeah, now there's going to be another cutscene with Colorado here. Normally what you need to do is you need to push this block like all the way over, but you can actually just kind of click yourself into this corner and then use paracarry. Let's see, okay. And then use paracarry, you will actually just touch the loading zone. So I'll show it again. This is called flare carry. You just whip yourself into the corner there, use paracarry. If it doesn't work, just kind of go back and do it again. It's a very, very easy trick. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You just use paracarry and you get it. From here, you're just gonna... So right now, we're actually gonna keep going. We're gonna follow Colorado. Get this super shroom. You need that for later. Colorado will tell you something. And then this is actually probably one of the easier skips in the entire game. It's called Lava Piranha Skip. It's the same vein as doing Black Toad Skip, but in my opinion, it's easier. You're gonna spin and hammer, and I'm out of bounds. It's actually that easy. So spin, hammer. You want to be on this side of Colorado, and so the times it doesn't work is if you're like down here, if you're like below him, or if you like if you're behind him or all the way below him. That means you're in bounds. If you're out of bounds, looks like in front of him or in front of, yeah, basically in front of him like that. If you're below him or behind him, you're not out of bounds. If you're in front of him like this, then you're out of bounds. And from here, just kind of walk out of bounds, hold down right-ish. You'll land in this corner and then take the loading zone. That trick is about as easy as it looks. You just spin, hammer, and then hold like down right-ish, and we'll work. Whoops. Switch to Bombette. From here, this lava boost is technically slower, but it's only like half a second slower. So I just like to do it because it's really consistent. Just jump on the first stair and then hold left. And that, so far, is about half of the run. Not half, a little bit less than half so far. The next part is, it's pretty much just, there's no real like glitches coming up for the next like 30-ish minutes. So it's mostly just like doing chapter 6. So I'll just kind of go through like what you're doing and how. This Peach cutscene is a little bit boring. You just kind of have to do it, unfortunately. We wish there was a way to skip it, but you know, there isn't. It sucks. You're going to come down to this door, and then there is that door in the background right there. If you stand at the bottom of this stair and wait for the flashlight to move, you can actually sneak by him. That's a little bit faster than going all the way around. So just make sure you don't get caught. Enter this door, and now it's a little like quiz intermission thing. So for this one, you're actually just going to answer yes for every answer. Yeah, so you're just going to mash A to answer 1 to every question. The only one you don't answer the first option to is question 10. Question 10, you're going to answer the second option. And that's to make it so you actually lose the quiz. Because if you win the quiz, you get an extra item that you don't want. And it wastes time. So that's question 8. Question 9. And probably this is question 10. So you're actually going to answer option 2. Oh no, we lost. Whatever will we do? Alright, so I think this section so far is about... this is about 2 hours that I've been recording so far. So I might cut this into like 2 one-hour parts, maybe. Or I might make just like a 1-hour part, and the next section should be about like 2 hours, I think. So yeah, this is actually going to be the end of either part 1 or part 2. I'm not really sure if I'll cut this into 4 parts or 2 parts, but that'll be another part 1 or 2. So the next video should be next up, but yeah, that's the first, like, that's about the first, like, half of the run, the first third-ish. The next about 30 or so minutes are pretty simple. There's not really much going on. And then chapters 7 and chapter 8 are pretty hard, but those will be covered in detail. So I'm gonna take a short break, and then because I need some water, some more water. So thanks for watching. Part 2 will be linked in the description as well.